Okay, so this deck list went 4-2 in the Hooglandia Open. It seems pretty sweet. So mono red Obosh madness here. We've got Rootwalla as well as Fiery Temper that give you that madness value when you discard them. And then we've got lots of ways to put things in the bin. We've got Faithless Looting, we've got Bomat Courier, we've got Ox that discards our hand, we've got Seasoned Pyromancer, and then we also have Hollowed One to take advantage of us discarding cards on top of our Madness cards, giving us some advantage. We have a lot of instants and sorceries and non-creature spells. We're also playing some Dragon Rage Chandler here as a way to get some selection and apply some pressure early. And then Obosh can double up damage on all of our odd-costed things here. So one of the things that's kind of sweet about this deck is you'll note we've only got 10 basic lands in it, because we get 8 utility lands between Ramunap Ruins and Den of the Bugbear. And then we also have Spikefield Hazard. So our deck has 18 actual lands plus Spikefield Hazard puts us to a virtual 22, which I think with the card selection that we have is probably pretty reasonable. So let's go ahead and dive on into some games with this and see how it goes. I mean, Historic Brawl doesn't need bans. It needs the deck strength matchmaking to work. Like, the thing that makes Historic Brawl playable currently is just non-functional, Daddy. If you weren't here a second ago, I mentioned that they posted on, an arena dev posted on Twitter that it's currently broken, so. Do we ditch the Hollowed One? Do we ditch the Hollowed One? Probably. So otherwise I'd have to discard this to Seasoned Pyromancer, probably. Alright, so we're gonna lose Seasoned Pyromancer here, I assume. You can find all of the decks that we've been playing on my YouTube channel. There's a historic playlist up there. Great way to see, has Jeff played X? Reasonable deck. It'll end up there. Sag. Hopefully we find Faithless Looting or something. Jesus, all those ways. Walla lala ding dong. Nailed it. Never didn't have it. A true skill game. Much like Spider-Man chat, Flameblade Adept is a menace. It's coming for you and it doesn't care about your blockers. Oh no! They took my shock! Wait, they lost 2 life? Alright, fine. Deal. Results. I'll allow it. Oh no! It is a little sad to get my Spikefield Hazard. What's the best draw on our deck now? Seasoned Pyromancer? Yeah, they basically cast my shock for free, chap. It's just good value right there. It's adorable. So we can force this to jump block, right? Oh, I should have held my land, technically. I might have also been right to flashback the looting from the bin so I keep a card in hand. It wouldn't have let me play a madness spell, though. I could have, Could have drawn like a Fiery Temper there. Or a Hollowed one. Alright, so they're a Dreadhorde Arcanist deck. These shocks don't seem particularly exciting. I guess they're probably a Shadow deck, right? If they're playing Scourge of the Skyclaves, they could just be playing Scourge and no Shadow, I suppose, too, though. Got these Bomats on the draw. Against a deck that has cheap creatures. Let's get blocked. I'll bring in Unholy Heat. I guess leaving in some of them for Delirium purposes is probably not unreasonable. Yeah, we're getting Blastoise on Unite tomorrow. Which is exciting. Hopefully we're getting some balance patches with it too, but yeah, tomorrow afternoon's variety segment will be Unite, and I'm planning to play Blastoise all afternoon for people that want to take a peekaboo at what it does before they decide if they want to pick it up. You know when the patch drops? Yeah, they drop at midnight PST. So 2 a.m. Central. We should get some vague-ish patch notes from them soonish. And then people will data mine what the patch notes actually did tomorrow, once the patch goes live. I think I would like to see a Lucario nerf, a Wigglytuff nerf, and a Greninja Surf nerf. Surf it. You could use a little surfing nerf, chat. I hope when they do nerf Lucario, they just nerf Power Up Punch and not anything else, though, because I would love to play Extreme Speed Lucario. And by that, I mean I play Extreme Speed Lucario anyways, because he's fun. But I'd like to just feel less bad about playing Extreme Speed Lucario. Hey, Just Drake, thanks for the 5 months. Welcome back. I think I'm just planning to hit my land drops here. Dear opponent, please Inquisition me. So I think we do this and then just draw Obosh here. And then next turn we can Seasoned into Hollowed One. Surveil does not impact Hollowed One. So I think I'm going to ditch these two and then just hope to draw a land. I might be greedy. We don't have that many lands in our deck. It might be right to ditch the Temper and just not cast it this turn. I'd like to Hollowed One this turn. Let's just greed and discard the land. Nailed it. Yeah, Lucario is just not very good in the late game in general, BJ. So, like, having it be good in the early game, I think is fine. Like, its strength as a character is in the fact that, like, it gets to beat people up early. Now, these are unfortunately both tapped lands here, so I can't Obosh off of them because of my greed. So, I actually think, Roth, rather than seeing Lucario's shield get nerfed, I think Focus Band as a whole should probably get nerfed. Of course, Chuki. Focus Band and Buddy Barriers are items that are overtuned that I think they could stand to change. We'll try and put Seasoned Boy in front of here. Dealerino. You're ripping us apart, opponent! We were supposed to be a family! They're tearing us apart, chat! This is madness, chat. Madness. Attempt to deal 12 to your Death Shadow. Read. Rats. And cancel the Rootwalla here because it attacks for 3 next turn. We can fire up the old Buggy Bear and smash on in here. Pretty solid W there. Thanks for the follow, Bungie. Good morning. Sure. I think it's actually correct to wait till 2 to looting in this deck because you could peel a hollowed one. So, I didn't actually touch my noise cancellation, but I changed where my microphone's positioned, which is causing it. Actually, I'll toggle the noise cancellation down, but technically that's where I left it for a point of reference. All right, so we'll ditch these. Let me know if that's better, Prime. The microphone as a whole, I had to pull the gain up for the repositioning, so it's a little bit more boomy than it was before, but think it's passable from the samples I recorded. Listening back. I'm playing some treasures in historic, eh? We want to just get our loot on, try and hit our 3rd lane for this Pyromancer. Yeah. I don't really have great attacks here. Thanks for the 21 months, O'Hare. I appreciate that. Welcome back. That sounds better. Good, thank you. I appreciate the heads up. I do. Whenever I change anything in my audio setup, I record a bunch of short samples in different pitches and tones, but I don't always catch everything. So thanks. I think we're murdering this here, right? So I probably want to just get this into play to get churning through cards next turn anyways, to get my hand empty here a little bit. Gonna murder my Walla. My Walla Lala Ding Dong. Walla only gains attack on this one with his activation, so it cannot save it from that. Got some fat loot in this draw, chat. Some fatty loot. I think we keep Darcy in hand for now. Discard pile's got a bunch of cards in it, so let's go ahead and add this. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. Do I attack here? I think I attack here. Thanks for the follow, GDT. No, untap should be working. If you were here earlier when we were playing Psychonauts, you might need to refresh, but untapped is fixed. As an FYI. Yes, this looting is gorgeous. I really wish I could get the OG looting artwork in here. Hope they do that at some point. Just get us all the originals would be great. Let's try and escape everything in here other than Faithless Lootings. Actually, I'm gonna leave a Bomat Courier in here and one Faithless Looting for terms of making Darcy be a 3/3. We're close to it. Just need to get one more card type in there. Chill on that for now. You can discard it to Seasoned Pyromancer, get a token next turn. Yeah, looks like they're playing Citadel combo, possibly Lark as well. So flashing this back would get rid of the Sorcerer in my bin, but it would give this +2 attack. Oh, sick. This is a free hollowed one here. Crunch. Oh, discarding the land enables Darcy. Yeah, that's a good thought. And I used all my mana, but I didn't think about that. I definitely should have been thinking about it. I only have 4 mana, so I guess I could play a Phyrexian Tower to put Citadel into play, but their life total's low enough that it shouldn't matter. Yeah. Love it. Okay, so Cage is obviously great. They're not really a graveyard deck, even though they have Voice Rider, so I don't think I want Soul Guide Lantern. Although Bomat Courier is pretty mediocre against these creature decks. So maybe we just do like I did last game, where like it's okay and it's an artifact and it's better than Bomat Courier. Bringing these shocks. Do I trim an ox? Because I'm bringing in cage. It's only one cage. Do I want these Unholy Heats? I've got 4 shocks, 4 hazards, and 2 heats. It's probably plenty of spot removal with these tempers, huh? Let's try this. Oh yeah, Ferocidon could be good. Ferocidon's probably a good call. Ooh, does the new microphone position and settings pick up the desk going up and down? I think it does. Yeah, looks like it. All right, good to know. You didn't hear it. Really? Okay. I wonder what it's picking up then. You could hear a little whir. All right. Yeah, I think looks like it's grabbing it a little. That's fine though. Do I want to get Darcy down or do I want to murder this? I probably don't care about this long term. I'm just gonna get Darcy down, so that way my shock next turn gets a surveil off of it. Not today, Jones. If not today, then when, Jones? Thanks for the follow. I do think I care about Blood Artist. I think I do. Do I, though? Yeah. Definitely in for a 3rd land. No, I don't think I want to kill the goose. I think the goose just stays where it is. They're gonna have a lot of things worth killing. Like their deck has a lot of supply of creatures, so. Do we ditch Darcy to... Do we ditch Darcy to hit Delirium? I think the answer is no. Now the extension should be working again. It was broken for a while. Should be back up. Nailed it. Hey Jones, thanks for the prime. There's a ton of great people you can send that to every single month. And thanks for this way this month. Came to say that I played Bring to Light Scape Shift in 2017 a lot. And caught a lot of shit now that it's the meta game. I don't know that I can take credit for being ahead of that so much as they printed a bunch of new busted cards for that. You're not wrong. It was definitely the hipster deck back then. Okay, that's a hollowed one. So you can go ahead and looting here plus shock plus solid one. Get some surveils on too. Just dig for some madness cards. These aren't madness. Ooh. All right, well now we just ditch these and put 8 power into play and then have a shock for next turn, right? I think is the plan. They could theoretically Citadel and kill us next turn. But I think I'm just supposed to hope they don't do that at 13 life when we get the hollow ones going. 544H, thanks for the follow. Good morning. Yeah, there's Citadel. They do have some scribes with Woe Strider, so there is some, you know, maybe we should kill the Woe Strider so they can't scribe. So if they have a good run here, we could die. They boarded in Leyline of the Void. Okay. How do they get past lands? Woe Strider sacrifices to get past lands. So that's why there's potentially worthwhile to be to not play this and instead, yeah, like, oh wait, what? Well, opponent done messed up. They should have sacrificed something to gain a life. I think there's a good chance that if my opponent doesn't misclick there, we actually die, which is why maybe I should have only played one Hollowed One and shocked their Woe Strider. But they misclicked, so let's get some more pips and head to Mythic. So again, when I frequently talk about don't pay attention to my record, there's always some mouthy idiot that pipes up and is like, well, you just want us to ignore your losses, Jeff. It's like, well, when I say, like, the record is small and statistically insignificant, it's not only because there's games I messed up that I lost that likely would be wins if I had played better. There's also games like that, right, where I'm, like, very likely to have lost, but something happened. Is this a requeue? They still haven't fixed that? Okay, we'll see if they're playing the same deck. Yeah, looks like it. I'll put this into play tapped on one, I think, and then set up Looting Temper on two, potentially. Den of the Bugbear is perfect. I think I want to murder the elf here, especially with them not having a play on 3 mana. Obviously, like, getting my threats into play sooner has some appeal, but I think slowing them down is more valuable here. And then, like, next turn we could go just, like, Darcy Flameblade. Well, it's technically been a thing for a while, Gil. If you look up on my website, I've had a deck list up there for a little bit doing that. But it's more consistent now with the new Cascade card. We'll get to doing that to people on stream at some point. Thanks for the follow, Leech. Alright, so... if I Seasoned Pyromancer, ditch Hollowed One here, I hit Delirium. You do, Grix. If you want, just ignore it and pretend it doesn't exist. Or I could take it away, but you can also just pretend it doesn't exist. I think I'd give up the Hollowed One here to get these going. I mean, well. Our Pups of Menace shit. It's a Jackal. Is it a Jackal? It's a Jackal. Okay, they're at 10, and that's a Citadel. So they could kill us from here, but it's very unlikely. Goodbye, friend. Ferocidon seems like a good shout. I missed that when we played this matchup a second ago. Cage and Lantern seem good. Shocks seem good. I'm just always a sucker for a bad combo control deck. Not today. I need a few more trims here, huh? Part of me thinks maybe we're supposed to trim Seasoned Pyromancer because it's another 3 and I want to bring in these Ferocidons, but I also worry about trimming too many of my discard outlets and leaving all these hallowed ones in. Maybe we're supposed to like trim 2 of these and trim 1 of these because I'm going down on discard outlets. Could see that being the case. That's right, let's try that. We're going to play Magic until about 3 o'clock. So, Arena was down this morning for 2 hours. You literally just couldn't do matchmaking. So we did about an hour and a half of, Psychonauts to start today. Well, they have their thing, but I have Rootwallas, I guess. You've killed my lizard. It's the nuts opener. I mean, it's actually kind of mediocre. Wow, Jeff, you put 2 1/1s into play on turn 1. It's nuts. I mean, is it really? Is it really nuts? Is nuts the descriptor we want to use? We had Storm equal to 3, I guess, but like... There was technically a Storm count. Pump up my lizard friend. This is madness. Complete and utter madness. Meh. Cool. Unholy Heat this. We'll Soul Guide Lantern it. Wanu, thank you for the follow. Good morning. Assume they're gonna chump this Walla. Go ahead and draw with this. See if we find a Darcy or something to play out. Okay. As you will. Cool, cool. Lizard friends, lizard friend, lizard friends, doo doo doo. Interesting that they're killing the Flameblade Adept, because the Flameblade Adept's going to be a 1 power more often than not. These can be 3 power basically every turn. This is Big Sag. We're gonna lose our lizards, shit. My poor lizards. Yeah, you try and gain that life. The red wub sustains me, chat. Thunk. Drop a second dino here. Can't even jump block these, because much like Spider-Man, he's a menace. Menace, chat. Arrgh. Bring me pictures of Ferocidon. Alright, chat. Bubble match for Mythic. Will we be professional gamers? The highest of ranks? Requeue again for easy Mythic. Yes, play me. We're just like farming pips from this one opponent. Poor opponent. I made Mythic like 7 times and all I got were a handful of crappy packs. You're getting handfuls of packs? That's busted. I don't get handfuls of packs. What is it? Platinum. Platinum is where you get the highest, Platinum gives you the highest, card art rewards, right? So that's the important one to get to. Minnow's hands are small. Oh, that's the good stuff. So I want this land, but I also want Darcy to... I keep the land. I keep the land. Madness, chat. Madness! Alta Gamer. Thank you for the entire year of support. Are you prepared to defend the realm? Yes, we Bomat. Oh yeah, my body is ready to be swept away. The most, thanks for the follow. Good morning. You know, it's like I often talked about, you know, when people say, well, Jeff, how good or bad is this new deck? It's like, well, you're going to win plenty of games against bad things, and then you're going to queue into the good decks, and it's going to be like you're playing an entirely different format. The Jeskai decks in this format are a solid rung above basically everything else you can be doing. Yeah, they're S plus tier. Disposable hero. Thanks for the 23 months. Welcome back. Erica Tridinor, thanks for the follow. Yeah, like they're at 11 now, right? Maybe I'm supposed to keep that in case we draw a hollowed one, actually. Gosh, and Darcy's not even delirious because my Bomat Courier got exiled. I'm just gonna go ahead and concede. We're not gonna catch back up from this point. They have Search for Azcanta plus this card draw plus Shark Typhoon, and that's even before you mention the fact that, like, they could very realistically be working up towards comboing us. And, like, that really highlights the strength of their archetype, right? Like, they brutalized us and it was not close and they never combo killed. And they have the ability to just randomly lock you out on the third turn of the game as well. So, we're going to swap some Unholy Heats for some Shocks for a little bit of reach and proactiveness, but we're mostly just racing here, and our ability to race is likely just not good enough against Memory Lapse, Lightning Helix, and Anger of the Gods. Mega Roll, thanks for the follow. So I'm going to play this one match out just to highlight how strong their deck is against our deck. And then if we queue into this archetype again, we will just auto-concede to it and move on to play the other matches. I think we lead on Darcy here because we want the highest chance at our second land on too. Sneak attack is more interesting than creativity. Stark finally ready for a Boyle reprint. I mean, well, shit. As far as, like, non-joke cards you could print, I actually think, Red Elemental Blast being printed into this format would solve most of the problems it has. Sneak attack is actually much worse than creativity in this format, I think. Like, there's no Gristlebrands or Emrakuls in this format to sneak attack into play. You have, like, 10 mana Ulamog at best, and even that doesn't annihilate you. It just exiles stuff and attacks 10. I actually... So, and what I'm about to say is an incredibly bold claim that could be wrong, but if I was a gambling man, and I play Magic, so obviously I'm a gambling man, I would put my money on Veil of Summer not being enough to fix Jeskai's dominance in this format. A significant amount of the things that are good about the Jeskai decks in this format don't give a shit about Veil of Summer. Hey, Willis up. Don't give Wizards the idea to reprint Boyle. Yeah, there would be a lot of decks like that that would catch flack, for sure. Like, Veil of Summer is obviously an incredibly powerful card, but, like, the Jeskai deck's dominance is largely based around... things like Helix and others being good, right? Helix, Wrath of God, Anger, the fact that they can combo kill. Yeah. What's the best non-memory lapse deck in Historic? I think there are a ton of non-memory lapse decks that are all varying shades of mediocre. And, like, close-ish to playable. I don't know. We don't have, so like one thing people have been asking too is, Jeff, why did the Meta Monday reports stop? And maybe I need to reconsider like utilizing something like Untapped to look at data, and maybe we just talk about ladder metrics, but like overall, we just don't really have stats available for me to do Meta Monday efficiently, basically. Like a lot of the Meta Monday data I was using was coming from the now defunct Insight Esports tournaments. Oh, well, that's sad. I wanted to cast that Seasoned Pyromancer. I'm gonna push damage here and then draw Obosh. Fantasy End. Thanks for the 23 months. Welcome back. So what are our sequencing decisions here? I think I actually want to looting to dig for a land for Obosh. I think we do this. Maybe I should have done this first because I could have hit a Fiery Temper. Yeah, this is nice. So we'll ditch. Actually, probably ditch the Bomat Courier. We'll play this out. Having lots of cheap red removal is so good in these creature matchups. We get to board in. Shocks and Unholy Heats here. Just cut these Bomat Couriers, I think. Seems pretty clean in and out here. They're not really gaining life, and they're a little bit on the aggressive side, so I think Rampaging Ferocidon stays on the board this time through. Yeah, I mean, honestly, just like having 8 shocks is good in a matchup like this. Let's check Ben. It's felt very reasonable against everything that's not Jeskai. I think I mulligan this. Double Pyromancer is a touch awk. The double runes means our mana's gonna hurt us. I don't have any cheap removal if I want to play this as a land. Yeah, this is fine. Gold bottom looting here. Our deck is confident we want looting. Play Spikefield Hazard tapped on 1. We draw a different untapped land on the second turn. We'll probably play, I was gonna say play both of these, but that's no longer an option. Go ahead and murder Thalia here. Twitch did finally approve Untap's update, which is lovely. You love to see it. I would like all of the 1/1s, please. This is madness, chat. Madness. Come and get it. All right, back on the bubble for Mythic. So naturally, that means someone at Wizards of the Coast is going to pull the Jeskai creativity lever. Because that's how this works. Send in the emissaries. Hoglin's on the precipice. They do technically have Jeskai colored sleeves on. Basic forest! Chat, I've never been so excited to see a basic forest in my life. It's like Christmas. Alright, now don't step on my Bomat Courier. Have a heart. Second basic forest. Elf cards. You'll love to see it. Alright, so what if we do this? And then we cash this Den of the Bugbear in for 3 new cards? Oh, I got really excited when I saw the artifact. I was like, oh, a free hollowed one. Narrator, it was not a free hollowed one. I'm okay trading this for these. It's close though. Technically a 1-for-1. It's a scary one. Rootwalla is still in hand, but we can madness that in with the Ox next turn.
I was not born in the sky shrine. Our magic bears fruit.
It might be right to leave a Bomat in hand, so that way if I draw a hollowed one, I can put it into play for 1 mana. BH Merher, thanks for the follow. Is there any tension between Ox and keeping Delirium? Nah. If you're drawing 3 cards with Ox, you're probably winning enough that it's fine that you put yourself off Delirium. I mean, to be fair, the hollowed ones don't really matter at this point. I think we're probably locked out. Between Realm Walker and Freylays, we're just gonna get buried. This summons a Regal Force next turn, right? So we're just dead. going wide enough that I want Rampaging Ferocidon. Flameblade Adept seems pretty mediocre here. I mean, I'd assume that the go wide creature deck's a bad matchup for us trying to attack. I'm pretty sure I just know attacks here. I think this card living is easily our best chance to win this matchup. Ghetto Stabulous. Thanks for the follow. Huh? I would have been that. I want to dig for other madness cards I can actually cast here. Maybe I'm supposed to discard Rampaging Ferocidon there, actually. To work towards Delirium. Hopefully we can just surveil a creature here. Yeah, I definitely should have been to Ferocidon there. It's a mistake. What's going on, Gabriel? Thanks for the 15 months of Prime. Welcome back. Yeah, my opponent would be going to 2 right now. If I had attacked with Darcy, or if I had discarded this to let me attack with Darcy sooner. Oh gosh, yeah. I think we're dead. Because I messed up. Not only is the Skoos big, but my Darcys are going to lose flying chat, is the problem. Might as well smush here, I guess, right? Because these have to attack, and they get to put me off Delirium with the Ooze. And then they'll block 3, take 2, down 2. Oh, wait, what? Did they misclick? Alright. Well. Oh, there was a third creature. They missed that I binned a Rootwalla off the Surveil. They missed that I binned a Rootwalla off a Surveil. Alright, we get a game 3. Sometimes lucky, chat. They could have taken Faithless Looting. Yeah, I think so. They wanted to make their ooze bigger, though. Yeah, alright. Third game on the draw. Playing for Mythic. Can we do it? Yes, we can. Okay, we're on the draw. Their start is so good. So I'm surveilling here rather than using the Faithless Looting, because ideally I want to looting and put 2 hollowed ones into play. Which, yes, is a little greedy, but also it's like what I've got, so. So 3 shots at an untapped land here. Oh, man. I'm supposed to get rid of this, right? The 1/1 just doesn't matter. Sedge. Ah, I should have just believed, chat. If I would have just believed, we could have had our Rootwalla and eaten it too. It's always wrong to be conservative, chat. Never forget. Untapped land would be good. Okay, so we gotta murder land war elves, and even then we're still just dead to an untapped land, right? Which is unfort, but it is what it is. Because they have 2 Allosaurus shepherds here. Honestly, we're just dead to the land even if I hold these back, right? Because they'll tap this and fire up. So let's smash and just hope for the best. Am I dead yet? Yep. Get you, opponent. Like I said, I'd expect this matchup to be pretty difficult for us, which honestly probably means this deck's not very good. This is, if I were to classify what this deck is doing, it definitely feels like a more mid-rangey aggressive deck, which feels like a kind of tough spot to be in this format. It means like we're not fast enough to get under the Jeskai combo decks consistently, and it means the other more linear decks, when our interaction's not good enough, get to just run us over. And it's not like our interaction wasn't good there, right? Like our deck is full of like shocks and stuff. Hey, Maximus, thanks for the prime. I appreciate the support. Good morning. Elves isn't that popular in best of 3. So in best of 1, definitely. Playing a deck with a bad Elves matchup in best of 1 is one of the worst things you could do. Mono red Wellspring, perhaps? I mean, you can. I'm not saying you can't do well with Elves. I'm just saying it's not popular in this format. Just for reference. I watched Allie queue up with the... I watched Allie Andrazi queue up with the, what's it called deck last night? The new Tibalt's Trickery Cascade deck, and he played like 3 mirrors in 4 matches. I was just like, yeah, you deserve this in best of 1. This is what you get. Mike Colas, thanks for the follow. Good morning. Don't we let them exile first? It actually just doesn't matter. Actually irrelevant. Hey, Zadi, thanks for the support. I appreciate it. So, I think I'm going to hold on to the Fiery Temper, and I'm going to ditch the land here, and I'm going to hope to spike untapped land to play the solid one out. Sag. The Faithless Looting does mean that I get to ditch Fiery Temper and play Hollowed One next turn, though, so it's not all bad at least. How close are we to Ox? Getting close. 5 cards, and this will put 3 more in the bin. I think I use this as a game too. Do I? Nah, I'm gonna take it. This plus this trade for the 5/5, so holding on to it seems worthwhile. I think best of 1 standard is relatively reasonable, but I think best of 1 like historic and modern is like pretty poopy overall. Playing these formats like this or modern and best of 1 really highlights how much Magic leans on its ability for sideboard hosers to exist to justify not banning stupid things. Orinel, Prime subs do still exist, you probably just have to wait a touch. So there's this weird delay where like your sub is lapsed, but there's like this hour overlap where you can't resub yet. That sucks. Yes. Yeah, there are so many broken Game 1 decks in Modern, and as Historic as a format continues to push closer to Modern and power level, there will be more and more of those in this format. So, not to scare anybody off, but if you think things like the Tibalt's Trickery deck are obnoxious in best of 1, you're right, but I would expect more of those kind of decks to pop up as Historic continues to mature, not less of them. Decks like those that are obnoxious but suck in the sideboarded games are like a core feature of Magic's non-rotating formats. Yeah, this Oxy boy is gonna get to discard this Temper. Yeah, I agree, Mavlins. I actually think that Historic differentiating between best of 1 and best of 3 with their ban list more would be very good. Yeah, I think that would be a net positive for the game if they manage the ban lists of these formats separately. I'm gonna attack. Print Force of Will into Historic. So, for putting Force of Will into the format doesn't even actually solve the problems with Best of 1, because Force of Will is only really a bottlenecker / format policer for those combo decks, because you get to mulligan for it in the post-board games. And in Best of 1, you don't get to make intelligent mulligan decisions. And like, we often talk about how the sideboarding's important in Magic for keeping those decks bad, but making intelligent mulligans is just as important. Being able to go, oh, this is that matchup, I can't keep this hand, raises your win percentage so much. The combo decks are worse in post-board games because of people's ability to mulligan against them just as much as people's ability to sideboard against them. And I've actually, something that I think would be sweet that I would actually play is, I think a Game 3 Best of 1 queue would actually be Gasoline for Historic, where you and your opponent see each other's deck list for 30 seconds, sideboard, and then play one game. I think would be awesome. I think that's a format I'd be interested in playing as a ladder format as a Best of 1 setting. So close and yet so far away there. Stay safe out there, Sunset Bleach. I think that would mitigate. Sure, combo players wouldn't play. I mean, that's not even strictly true, right? Like, a combo deck is literally the best deck in Historic right now, right? Like the Jeskai Indomitable Creativity combo. Like, bad combo decks wouldn't see play. Like, things like Tibalt's Trickery would see less play. And it would fix Standard 22 as well. Yeah, I don't even think that's limited just Historic. I think a Game 3 Best of 1 queue would solve a lot of the problems someone like me has with playing Best of 1 Magic. Yeah, you could even do that. You don't even have to show numbers, just show a list of the spells and lands in their deck with no numbers next to them. And then there's even some surprises to it still, but it would give you a feel of what you're doing enough to sideboard. All right, so we're bringing in a bunch of my cheap removal here. I don't like Bomat Couriers against other decks filled with creatures. This looks good. Hey, thanks for the 13 months, Chris. Yeah, Unite's been a lot of fun. Tomorrow afternoon's variety segment will be live Unite for the last 2 hours. We're going to be jamming with Blastoise. That releases tomorrow morning. Yeah, this is great, right? We get Flameblade Adept on 1, Looting attack for 3, Hollowed 1 on 2. Howdy, Dissonance. Bunch of new followers today. Thanks everybody for dropping in. If you're new to the channel, my name is Jeff Hoagland, and I stream full-time here on Twitch. We do a ton of Magic every single day of the week. We usually all constructed. As the stream title says, we usually change decks every 60 to 90 minutes or so you get a lot of variety every single day. Historic, Standard 22, and a little bit of Historic Brawl are mostly what we're playing these days. So I have a decision to make here. Do we want to Unholy Heat and kill this, or do we want a Hollowed 1 this turn? So the downside to letting them untap with this is it has prowess, so it'll be hard to kill with a shock in the future. Also, leaving this in play when I put Hollowed 1 out means they could use a deal 2 or a deal 3 to shrink my 4/4. So it's a little bit less aggressive, but I think the proper play here is actually just kill this and hold these for next turn. Thanks for the follow, Callie Bob. Good morning. I also have a YouTube channel. If you're someone that's into pre-recorded content, I play a lot of decks every day, and everything that I play that I think feels worthwhile, something interesting maybe to work on more, or is competitive outright, ends up in a YouTube video. So if you click that link, there's a playlist up there for each of the formats that we play. Really easy to scroll through. You'll find deck lists in every video description. So we're definitely discarding the Walla. I think I need to keep this other looting so I can work towards a land next turn. Sparkle, thanks for the follow. So we'll grab a friend here. I'm going to attack for 3 before I put Hollowed One into play here, because knowing that I have a Hollowed One could change what they do inside of combat. And like in a Braid, for example, they might not abrade this. I don't understand your question, Zazu. Why don't I looting and try just play Hollowed One for free? Yeah, maybe that's better. I don't really have anything else in my hand I actively want to discard, so like waiting to loot gives me a chance to find another Madness card next turn, for example, to discard to this. Because remember, this is card disadvantage when we cast it. I'm already pretty low on cards. I guess this gives me a means to gas back up, so maybe that mitigates it enough that I should just push for it. I could see it being correct to just power through the second one there. There's upside if this one were to find another Hollowed One, for example. Waiting a turn also lets me wait, gives me another chance to find Hollowed One, though. It's like now if Hollowed One is 2 cards down, I could cast it this turn. Okay, sweet. And look, I was rewarded for waiting here. We ended up finding Fiery Temper here, so I get to discard that. Then we get to go ahead and temper this. Grab a tapped land, crunch for 5. Would I rather have a 4th land or a 1-1? I think I'd rather have a 1-1, right? Yeah, we can have our cake and eat it too, chat. Yeah, to give a previous sponsor a bit of a shout, Bob, I've got a couple of Mac Weldon t-shirts that are still in my normal rotation from, gosh, it's probably 2 or 3 years ago that I had them as a sponsor, and they sent me some stuff, and they're still they've held up well over the test of time and many washing machines through. Have we drawn Obosh at all? We have put Obosh into play a couple of times, yeah. Generally speaking, premium underwear are worth the purchase. Listen, chat, if you've never paid like, you know, $20 or more per pair of boxer briefs or underwear or whatever you're wearing, you should try it at least once. I got a bunch on sale at one point when one of the stores in town was closing down, and I don't think I'd ever go back, chat. It's life-changing. Is this keepable? I have Unholy Heat. I have a bunch of tapped lands, though. Seasoned Pyromancer's okay, but I'm probably not going to get to put the Hollowed One into play. This hand's much better. I'm going to greed and just bottom this land here. Drop Darcy on 1, have Looting into Hollowed 1 on 2, hopefully Seasoned Pyromancer on 3. Thanks for the follow, dude. One Madness Lizard, please. Where are my lizards, chat? I need my lizards. I think we're just doing this. Hey, Scooty Puff. Thanks for the follow. Okay. Burn spell, pointing at our critters. Pretty good for us, I think. After getting burned out for almost exactly in the first game, I'm going to be a little conservative here and cash this in to gain 2, I think. So we'll play this tapped land. We'll Unholy Heat the Lava Runner here before they can draw Wizard's Lightning. And then next turn we can Faithless Looting, ditch the Fiery Temper. Think they'll ever have a land with Madness? Nah, that sounds too busted. Oh yeah, that's also true. Madness technically reads cast. That's a pretty trivial rework, though. Yeah, it would basically break every format with looting, is accurate. Maybe they could make you pay mana for it. Could see that. Hey, 5 mana gain 10. I choose you. So I didn't Faithless Looting here because shock, double shock plus a block technically kills the moose. Really surprised they Pillar of Flamed my face and not my 1/1. But looting would be banned from Historic soon. Oh, Twitter. I don't think any of the looting decks in this format are good right now, right? Right? Anybody correct me if I'm wrong? Is there a looting deck that I missed? Yeah, creativity combo doesn't play looting. Phoenix is on the fringes. Like, I don't think Phoenix is bad, but I also wouldn't call it busted. Like, it's fine, it's playable. It's not like, oh my god, Phoenix, nerf it. Think I'd rather flash this back than attack with Den of the Bugbear. You can die next turn, right? Did Phoenix get worse? Yeah, they banned Brainstorm. Phoenix was always fine against Jeskai control. The other thing to keep in mind is that when we say Jeskai right now, we're not just talking about Jeskai control, we're also talking about Jeskai indomitable creativity. Man, experimental frenzy, it's been a while. This does too because of Obosh, for people wondering why we were targeting that. So if they have a lightning strike on top, they can kill Chandler and not die. Otherwise, they're dead to this attack, because Chandler's currently hitting for 6. Alright. Not bad. Do most of the Jeskai decks play Helix? Yeah. So, this deck was sweet, and this deck was actually exactly the style of deck that I actually really like playing. So I had a lot of fun for the last hour and a half. So that being said, it hurts me to leave you with the conclusion of, I would be surprised if this deck's very good in this format. So this is basically a mid-range aggressive deck, which means that while it has some aggressive draws, it's also, its power is in its ability to attrition a little bit, and it's not powerful enough to get under like the Jeskai decks playing Memory Lapse, Helix, and Anger of the Gods and Wrath of God, and your grindy capability isn't enough to let you power through those tools in longer games. You also don't have meaningful tools to really interact with the Indomitable creativity decks outside of shocking the thing that they're targeting, and they could very easily, you know, just target something else. Yeah, it's bad. It's bad against Jeskai. It's probably bad against things like Elves. We had a really hard time there that goes super wide. But it plays good games of Magic and games of Magic that I enjoy, and I'd wager it's got a decent matchup against things that aren't Elves or Jeskai. So like, if you're okay punting against those two types of things and you like this deck, it seems reasonable. But in terms of, do I expect this deck to be a competitive powerhouse in the format? I would expect that it's not. So. I actually might throw this one up on the site under the fan favorite section because it's a kind of unique strategy with Hollowed One. I think what it has going on is sweet, but yeah. No, this only counts as an instant for Delirium, only the front half. It does count as an instant for discarding to Seasoned Pyromancer though, so it's like a land that makes you a 1/1 token, which is great.